a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of the CEV, and first of all also on behalf of the CEV President. He would love to be with us today. Unfortunately, he cannot be, but he sends his best regards, and we are extremely happy and glad to welcome more than 170 people from all over the world today here in Ljubljana. All of us went through a very difficult time in the last 18 months, and that makes us really proud that we can welcome today here the future of our sport, because you are part of this future, and we believe it is in particular important to be together, physically together. We have organized in the last 18 months more than 50 online webinars with more than 1,000 participants, but personal exchange and feeling, networking cannot exchange any webinar. So we are really happy and glad that you're here today. Welcome to Ljubljana. A big thanks to our hosting federation, the Slovenian colleagues, for making this happy. But it's not a coincidence that yesterday night the European Volleyball family celebrated and awarded the best athletes, the best players, and the best organizers. That we are here after this celebration yesterday, that we're here today, because yesterday we celebrated the stars, and today we are starting to create the future stars, because that's your role and your contribution to the future of European volleyball. And I hope that with the professional program our team has established with the professional speakers, you take a lot of positive input back home about methods of coaching, philosophies, and not only to keep it for yourself. We would also invite you that once back in your country to exchange and to transmit the knowledge and the experiences and the discussions you had in these 2 days here in Kranjska Gora, that you also share this with your colleagues in your countries, that you bring this to the kids in your clubs, in your schools, because that's very important. You are the multiplicators. You are invited to a selection of thousands of teachers and coaches all over the world. And today it's a starting point. It's our second coaches convention the CEV is organizing. We are strongly committed as a European Volleyball Confederation to further invest in the development, in the future, in the youngsters, and also we would like to extend and also in the future to have this kind of communication with you as teachers, physical education teachers, coaches, because this is very important to grow the game in the years to come. And of course, European Championships, as we have experienced in the last 40 days, we delivered, and we are very proud after the Olympics to be able to deliver the European Beach Volleyball Championship, the European Volleyball Men's and Women's Championship. We had amazing events. We had a record-breaking spectator attendance during the women's final in Belgrade with more than 20,000 people for the women's final. So volleyball is back, and I know that all of you have suffered in the last years, maybe not being able to be with your kids, with the players in the gyms. But really we hope that this is over, and it's a very good sign. Let's keep this energy from these 2 days here. I would like to give a special welcome and thanks for coming to the FFVB team. We have here also some really top coaches. Karmol was yesterday evening awarded as best or the beach volleyball coach of the year in Europe. So special welcome to Kare, won the gold medal in the Olympics with his team and also the European Championship. We have Giovanni Guidetti here as one of the top coaches in Europe, Vladimir Krivic, so and many others. I hope you use this opportunity to have a positive exchange, use these days to talk and to ask questions, to share good practice. We are very happy to have you here. Once more, welcome, and I wish you a good coaches convention. Thanks a lot.
So you didn't put it on mute. All right. Well, I will make my sort of introduction very short. The reason for that is that I'm going to yield some of my talk time to these guys up here and the questions from you, crowd, and we've got Giovanni over here as well. I just want to sort of say welcome to all. I think we are on first names. We are all coaches, so titles don't really matter. I do, however, represent the European Coaches Commission, and my name is Thomas. I should have started up with that, but I usually wait that, you know. So, 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, we actually set up in the commission to say, let's do a convention, let's do some kind of coaches gathering on a European scale. 2 years ago, we had an event down here, huge success, if you ask me. And now the success is even greater because we have extended our invitations, are extremely proud to have people from Asia and Africa and the Americas being present today and tomorrow. This is more than awesome. And I'm not really sure how I can document this apart from these cameras. So I'm going to do about the only selfie I've ever done in my life with me up there and you down there, so I can go to my kids and say, we did it. So bear with me and please cheer a bit, so it was like the end of the whole thing because it will be a success. So I'll just be up here and I'll be back with the microphone in a bit. Here we go. I learned the selfie one. Here we go. Right, let's see. Oh, okay, I'm on it. That's the important part. No, it isn't. Here we go. Here we go.
That's pretty difficult.
There you go. Right. Got it. I was definitely a better coach in the days than I was taking a selfie, that's for sure. I'm going to be mocked by my kids. So, we got some presenters. We got Remco over here. Remco, let them see your face. Hello. Here he is. What more? We've got Nicola. We've got Kristof. And Randy. You'll be seeing a lot more of those guys. That's for sure. When we get to questions and answers, I'll be trying to, I will have somebody work with this one running up and down because my days of running are like past ages ago. There will be about 9 minutes, 10 minutes on questions depending on the energy of the speakers and how they got caught up in their own words, want to present whatever they have to present to you. There's only one single deadline, 12 o'clock sharp, because we've got some PCR testing going on. Apart from that, you sort of go with the flow, we'll make it, and that's it. I welcome you all, lovely to see you, and the word for Kristof is yours right now. Go to the floor and have a fantastic time the next 2 days.
It is yours?
Yeah, it is mine. Yeah, book says so.
Okay. All good? No. Right. Thanks. Okay, very good morning to you all. My name is Kristof. I'm the little guy from Belgium, in Northern Ireland, also known as the balloon boy. And today I want to present something new. Maybe in the past you know something about be creative with exercise or play that game. And the idea is to have fun, to move a lot and to learn things. But the first part is having fun. So as an overview today, I want to start by explaining something about what is start to volley. What about these things? What about fun? What about move? Then I will tell something about the 3 parts of a session. The first part and the second part I will present. And the last part is up to my friend Nicola. And then at the end, the main topic of today. The main topic of today is techniques and tactics in 1-1 and 2-2. So the idea is how can we have fun with techniques and tactics. But first things first, what about start to volley? What is start to volley? So you see, okay, a lot of text, that's not important. The most important thing is having fun. Children, they need to enjoy the techniques, they need to enjoy the tactics, and they need to enjoy the games.
Second of all, they need to move. So you see, I'm always moving. We need to create dynamic exercises. And then the third goal is we need to learn some new skills. So, okay, this is text, but let's have a look. So these are some examples of exercises in my club. The youngest children were 6 years old, and these are children 11 years old. So we will use hoops, we will use inflatable beach balls, we will use like this the little balls, etc., etc. So to give some more introduction, it's about the 3 parts of a session. It's not like in the old days when I started in 1982. Yes, I'm already an old guy. And I started running laps, pushing against the wall. No, that's not creative. That's not creativity. So the idea is we have 3 main parts. The first part is a general part. We want general movement. Children, they like to run, they like to hit, they like to jump, and they like to act on coordination, on balance. The second part is the topic of this session. And the topic of this session is having fun with technical and tactical exercises. But very basic, on a very basic way. It's not that difficult. We always start very, very simple. And then the third part is the games part. But the games part is 1-1 and 2-2. We're not talking about 6-6. For me, that's not important. And the game part, this will be the part of my friend Nicola. So, this is an example of the first part. Keep your balance. Take small steps, big steps. As I mentioned before, these children are between 6 and 10 years old. Try to keep your balance. And next step, you may do a friendly fight. Friendly fight. I didn't put the bloopers into the video, that was not important. And everybody survived, no problem. Try to keep your balance. There's also a video with the coaches trying to keep their balance, but that was not a success. So this is not the classical way of giving a training session, but this is having fun. This was very dynamic. This was learning. Keep your balance. Try to keep it straight up. So another thing is the game part. You will see this is like a smash volley. In the Netherlands they call it a smash ball. And the idea is how can we play 2 versus 2, and the spike part is very important. And it's very important that we create exercises of games on the level. The children, they have different technical levels, and here we created 4 different game types. And we start very simple by 2 times catching and throwing, and the third part is the spike part. You see there is always a different way of serving, And before, during, after, there is also an after part. In the first game, you see the organization, and then they have to catch the throw, second contact, catching and throwing, then spiking, and after that they need to switch places. It is also a good example of how we have different levels in 2 versus 2. I will explain it a little bit later. So this is the next level, another way of serving, and another way of the after part. So think about the fun part, think about the moving part, and think about the learning part. You see a really nice video. Thank you, Jens de Boek, for creating it. So you see, there are always, in a situation 2 versus 2, you always have both players touching the ball. When you do it like 6 versus 6, maybe 1, 2 or 3 players, and they don't do anything. Oh, we played volleyball. How many times did you touch the ball? I don't know, 1 time, 2 times. But Nicola will explain a little bit more during his presentation about the game thing. This is only an example of how you can use this in the third part of a training session. Working 2 versus 2 is always a way of communicating. This is level 4, so we play in volleyball context. And you see we play mixed at a certain point, at a certain age. We can still play mixed, boys versus boys, but boys with girls versus boys with girls. Some other things it's important to use at this stage, and another ball, a lighter ball, not a regular ball. So the topic of today, techniques and tactics in 1 versus 1 and 2 versus 2. It's very important that we also have fun, and not like in the past, okay, you want to underhand serve, okay, this is the wall, and do it 1 time, 2 times, 100 times, 200 times, boring. So why 1-1 and 2-2? We need to create a lot of contacts. It's very important. Why? You have a permanent focus. You're always focused. A training session of 90 minutes is a training session of 90 minutes, and not 90 minutes, okay, wait. Now it's up to me. 1 contact. Wait. It's up to me. It's like in a queue. No, that's not the essence. The essence is how can we move constantly? How can we do it? So when you work alone, it's your own responsibility. If you do a lot of effort, you will learn a lot. But starting from 2 versus 2, when you work with a partner, when you work in pairs, you need to communicate. And a very important thing is there is a big difference between the biological age and the technical level that children have. There is a big difference. It's not because you're playing 4 versus 4 that that's the technical level. So in competition you can play 4 versus 4, but in a training session you can use 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 4 versus 4. So in Belgium we created different levels for 1-1 and 2-2. For 1-1 we start by catching and throwing the ball in a very simple way, and at the end we play the ball in 1, 2 or 3 contacts. These are 5 levels. When somebody asks me, can you give a training session, and I ask them, what's the level of the children, 1-1? then they say, for example, in Belgium, we will say 1A or 1C or 1D, and I know what the technical level is. The video, I will show you a video with young adults, and it's a little bit how can we be creative. The warming up last week with my young adults, 16, 17, 18 years old, we did a warming up with working in pairs, working with the ball, and working with a chair. So if you have a ball, we can do it now, or we can do it this afternoon. But for them it was, oh my God, you're going to do something with a chair and a ball. And there were different exercises. The idea is always start very simple and then make it more difficult. So, working in pairs, you see the permanent focus. They need to communicate, they need to motivate each other. And after 20-25 minutes, they asked for a break because they were very tired, they were sweating a lot. No chairs were harmed. Every chair survived the test. So you see they are running around. This for me a little bit like organized chaos, but it's organized. So, you know, I often post some videos on the Facebook page of Start to Volley, so I want to show some new exercises. I don't want to show the same exercise over and over again. These are some different levels, 2 versus 2, but you saw the examples in the Smash Volley video. We start playing side by side, playing after one bounce, with the other bounce, and we also have different levels by catching or throwing one or more contacts. So it's very important that you know what can the children do. If you make it too difficult, if you start too difficult, it's a problem. They don't feel successful and they will do something else. When it's too easy, it's not attractive enough. So you have to define what is the exact level the children have. So having fun with techniques. First thing, I will demonstrate, I will show you some key points of the different techniques, but that's not that important. The most important thing is how can we have fun with these techniques. So you see the different techniques, starting from serve, underhand pass, but I want to show you some ideas of blocking with the little ones. So first, service, you see some possible key points. There are a lot of key points, but you have some possible key points. This is from the overhead serve, and I want to show you some exercises of the underhand serve, and we will use an indiaka. So you can use different materials. You have, of course, the balloons, you have the inflatable beach balls, you have the chairs, etc. But this is an example of how can we practice our service, underhand serve, by using an indiaka. And I need to mention that it's very important to know the videos are real life. I don't want to show the best of the best. So I want to show the real life. You will see sometimes children sitting down, doing nothing. And I will come to them and I will say, hey, hop, let's go. But this is real life. So, an impression of underhand serve. You start only with the the Indiaka, and then we will add a bucket to it. I filmed this video on Wednesday, and the children were telling, oh, there he is again. So we start individual, and then we go working in pairs. And you see, these aren't 5, 6 or 7 different exercises. We start with one, so they know the basic idea, and then we do it, we add something to it, we make some variations, but the basic idea stays the same, so they know what we want to do. You see, it's also a good exercise, a good workout for me. So you have first a service, next the underhand pass. For me, it's the most important thing is the long arms. Play with long arms. When you start with the youngest one, don't explain it in a very difficult way. Try to keep it simple so it's understandable for everybody. So you see some possible key points. And we will use it with bench and with foam balls. And you see the idea is we start simple. Just make sure that everybody has a foam ball, so they don't have to wait. I think I had 20 players. This is in a club in Brussels. Try to keep control of the ball. So you see, real life, I did say underhand pass, see did the overhead pass. This guy, he's playing volleyball for 4 weeks, and you will see him later on. Then you will see after 4 weeks, if you do it in this way, what he already can do after 8 training sessions. You see, one of the mistakes is they don't use the long arm, the short arm. This is more difficult when you use a regular ball. And this is in this way easier when you use a foam ball. So these are a lot of new players. This is also a way of trying to keep your balance. And you see, in this way we create a series of exercises, and this is very important. This afternoon when I will give the practical session, it's not the thing about, okay, we give one exercise, then we give another one, then we give another one. No, we will create a series of exercises. So it's very important that you know, okay, you have 5, 6, 7 exercises. But when the basic idea stays the same, it's easier to understand, and you don't need to explain a lot of things. So, some things about the overhead pass. For me, overhead pass is one key point is the big hands. When you have the big hands to touch the ball, to have contact with the ball, it's better than when you have small hands. So, 2 main things, the big hands and the long arms. The big hands, for example, also for the spiking point. So, okay, the contact with the ball is very important, and looking through the window or another thing, another example, is some very difficult thing for the children. So we need to find out how can we help them to set the ball. How can we do this in a fun way? So this is an example of how we can do it. And you see, it's rather difficult because when you touch the ball in a wrong way, okay, you can. So this is not the setup. This is let's spike. And you can start again. You can start by doing a lot of things only with the inflatable beach ball. The next step is we add the regular ball. You can replace the inflatable beach ball by a balloon, and in this way you create a lot of different exercises. Some different exercises instead of, oh, okay, I know this exercise, there he is again, it's the same exercise, oh, boring. No, by using other materials, you can do the same exercises, and for the children, it's not the same. It's something completely different. So for the spike pot, you already saw the video in the spike pot and the smash volley pot, but you have some key points. Is it 2-step, 3-step, 4-step, arm swing, etc. The thing is, how can we have fun by sparking? If you ask children, what did you like most of the children are saying, I like to spike. So they don't say, I like to set. Sometimes, but not always. So, an example. Contact with the ball, very important. This is also for me the big hand. Try to find some words, some sentence for the children to remember. For example, when you have to catch the ball or when you have to defend the ball, for me it's, and I will do it once for the camera and then I won't do it anymore. For me, defending the ball, are you ready? It's not like this. For me, it's shake it, baby. So let's shake it. No, it was once. Okay. So, okay. Spike part. So I used the same material. So I did a lot of video. I made a lot of videos on Wednesday. So first, 2 contacts. 1, 2. Second step. 1, 2, spike. Next step will be 1, 2, not only spike, but jump and spike. Last step, 1, 2, not that easy. Last step will be 1, 2, 2 passes, jump, spike. You can do it over the net, no problem. The digging part. I know John Kessel, he couldn't make it. So in this way, he's here. So volleyball rules are very simple. If it's on the floor, pick it up and get it into the air. If it's in the air, keep it off the floor. So, thank you, John. Remco will present this afternoon, I think, another good example of digging the ball. Some key points. What can you do? Try to keep the ball, the balloon, the inflatable beach ball. Try to keep the ball alive. Try to make sure that you keep the ball in the air. So here you will see the Superwoman. First step. First, I wanted to do this without the mats, but they were afraid of the ground, so we did use net. First, roll the ball. Next step, you will see, it's not only about the Superwoman, it's about rolling the ball, it's about, at the end, the underhand serve. This is about keep your balance. And you see sometimes for some of the players it's too difficult, okay? So you have to think about how can we make it easier? How can we use another exercise? How can we make it less complex? How can we do it in another way? And then how children under 11, children under 9, blocking parts. Are you kidding me? Yes, we can use blocking part. I will show it in a very short example. And this afternoon I will give a series of exercises how you can block the ball at the age of 8, 9, 11. This is also for me the big hands. Try to block the ball. And I did use something difficult. You will see it's too difficult, but I want to show you the idea. And it was at the end of the session, and I already made 4 videos, and the children were tired. And I was saying, "Oh, I'm tired. I want to have a rest." But this is the idea. Try to get the ball. Oh, this was okay, but not for this one. She's a little bit shorter, so that was a problem. That was a problem. So this was having fun with techniques, but you can also have fun with tactics. Not the big tactics on top level, etc., but the when, then, and the before, during, after. So the when, then, you have different situations with different possibilities. 1 possibility, 2 possibilities. Start simple and make it more complicated. When I say yes, I say go, push the balloon in the air and catch it while sitting on the cardboard. Okay, and I want to do a short exercise. Can you help me? Okay. I will put my mic away. Okay, so when I say blue, you have to catch the blue one. Okay, ready? Go. I didn't say blue. I didn't say blue. Tricky one. White. Okay. Now you have to say blue or white, and I will drop the white or the blue one. Blue. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So very simple, very easy way. No stress. These are for you. Thank you. Yeah. So. I want to show you 2 or 3 more slides because I had my cue. 5 more minutes. Oh, 1 more minute. Okay, I will speak a little bit faster. So, before, during, after. The thing is, what do you do before the contact with the ball? What do you do during the contact and after you have touched the ball? It's always about before, during, after. This is a guy. He plays volleyball for 4 weeks. So this is a complicated exercise, but this was the end of a series of exercises. This isn't the first exercise. So he came to the club. Okay, I want to play volleyball. Did you play volleyball? No. How old are you? I'm 12 years old. Okay. After 4 weeks, this is what he delivered. And the idea is because we always work in series of exercises. When I give this exercise for the first time, as first exercise, he won't understand it. It's impossible. But at the end, when we start only using the foam ball, then different exercise with foam ball, combination with the regular ball, start simple, make it more difficult, this is the result. So it's all about education, working on the technical level. So, I will see when I got my time out. Thanks!
Thank you, Kristof. So, any questions for this gentleman? Yep. He's going to ask about the red ball, but
Thank you very much for everything.
For everything.
Yeah,
for the two girls, first balls.
I recently stepped down from men's volleyball to the youngest one, from 8 to 12. So it's a nice challenge and this is great. My question is, how would we handle the debate that we have in our club whether to mix boys and girls on a younger level? Because it's something that I want to introduce or try to talk about. So what you're taking on boys, girls up until when? Because we have 25 kids for one coach.
Yeah, so the problem is you have a lot of kids and not a lot of coaches.
Did you all get the question? Good.
Okay, so that's the problem. You have a lot of kids, that's very nice, but you don't have a lot of coaches, that's pity. Okay, so this is a mindset. So in Belgium, we organize competitions and tournaments for mixed groups. So this is a general mindset. It's not like, okay, now we will do it. So in my club and in my country, for the under 9, under 7, it's always mixed. Always mixed. The next step for in competition, under 11, the lowest level, 2 times catching and throwing, and the third contact is a volleyball contact, is also mixed. So we organized mixed competition. It's possible until the under 13 to have, for example, 1 or 2 boys in a group of girls. It's also possible to have 1 of 2 girls or 2 girls in the other way around. So it's telling about when they are running around, when they're doing a lot of things, and they're doing like this, you can see it's not a problem. They are all mixed. It's a situation you have to explain, and you have to explain the big advantage. And the big advantage is, in this way, there is volleyball practice for everybody. This is the main reason. You can prove it with different videos, different exercises. I have a dream in my club. We play volleyball, and we also see there's basketball training. So like this. Wait. So I want to do the general parts, volleyball and basketball. So we will see. Okay?
Thank you. On questions, I was brought up to believe that there are no silly questions, there are only silly answers. So do not hold back, please. Anything, there you go, that's usually the trick for it. Do you have a question? Yes, all right, yeah.
I have a very big question. Good. My question is, will this information be made available electronically?
This is available for everybody. And this is the part of sharing is caring. If you need something, please let me know. This is the idea. How can we help each other? How can we make sure that everything is available for everybody?
On top of that book, he says, while I'm going down to another question, and I'm walking, I'm not running, is that all these sessions are being recorded, so you will be able to get them later. And please present yourself just with a name, maybe a country, but at least so we know who's...
Which is the age when the result is important? And is there a result?
The result. What about the result? When we play games, for me, the result is not important. Not for the under 11, not for the under 13, and not for the under 15. starting from under 15, you can share, you can say, okay, now it becomes important. Under 17, it might be important, but when you saw the video with the chair, these are young adults playing senior level. But there's a difference between they're playing senior level, but okay, they have problems with senior level. For me, I coached the first game and the result wasn't important. So it depends on the level of your group. But for the under 11 and under 13, the result is never important. Sometimes I win a game and I don't like it. Sometimes I lose a game, but I told them you have to, for example, stay focused. Try to do the underhand serve. Third time you try to do the overhead serve. When you do this and you try to do it, for me, it's a good game. Whether when you lose or win, that's not important. So I know sometimes, and it's also the case in Belgium, it's for some of the coaches it's all about winning, winning, winning. Starting from a certain age, it's important, but not for this one. 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, not important. Education is important.
Right. Another one down there, coming up. I'm going to hold on to this one and keep the whatever it is in my hand so you don't have to touch the same microphone.
Hi, thanks Kristof. I was just wondering what your opinion is on giving different exercises to different groups of people who are in the same group. So obviously you've got some very athletic kids there, but often I work with a group of kids who have very different abilities and some can't even catch a ball. So even if we're building up exercises, some kids do really well and some kids just really struggle and get quite demotivated when they see other kids doing well.
Yeah.
So how would you combat that, and what is your opinion on splitting the group in two and give some kids easier exercises?
Yeah. Thank you for your question. You saw one court, but on your right there was another court. So we work in two different levels. Why? We explain to children, if it's too difficult, it's a problem. So now for you, we make it a little bit easy. And then they feel a relief, oh, I can play volleyball. That's the idea. We often work in 2 or 3 groups. So on Wednesday I had one group, and then the other court there were 2 coaches with the lower level kids. So when, for example, somebody is interested in playing volleyball and they will come to the club, and for example they are under 13, first they have the first session for them is with the under 11 to find out, is this your level? So we always, the first part, the general part, okay, you can do it with everybody, that's not a problem. But when you go to the technical, tactical stuff, it's important that they know, if I do it like this, okay, I will succeed. When it's too difficult, too complicated, they will become angry and they will lose interest, etc. So it's important that you work in different groups, different levels. But you have to be careful, you have to explain it, why. So if you say, no, you have to go there, and you have to go there, but why you have to go there? This is my friend, I want to play with him. You have to explain it, and sometimes it's no problem to mix everything, but to get technical and tactical results, yeah, it's important to work in different levels.
All right.